The US President and his Defense Secretary have threatened to send Iran back to the Stone Age. So let's take a look now at just a sample of some of the language the two have been using in the past few weeks.
We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. We'll hit some bridges. We've got a couple of nice bridges in mind. But if they come to the table, that'll be good. But it doesn't matter whether they come or not. We've set them back. It'll take 15 to 20 years for them to rebuild what we've done to them.
No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives. Every minute of every day until we decide it's over. And Iran will be able to do nothing about it. B-2s, B-52s, B-1s, Predator drones, fighters, controlling the skies, picking targets. Death and destruction from the sky, all day long.
Okay, let's discuss this now with Mohammed Al-Masri. He's a professor of media studies at the Dahr Institute for Graduate Studies. Mohammed, welcome once again. So amid all that posturing that we've been hearing over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and I have to say lack of clarity emanating out of the White House, we now add to the mix this removal of the Army Chief of Staff, gone in the 5th week of a major conflict. Does that, do you think, open, as well as all the rhetoric we've been hearing, does it all open a window on how this war has been executed by the White House and how they perceive their position?
I think so. There's a lot of speculation on what is happening behind the scenes, but I'll offer my own educated speculation. Because this is really extraordinary for this to happen in the middle of a war, a very important war that the U.S. is fighting. I think it's likely that there are significant ruptures inside the U.S. military apparatus. The Secretary of Defense, Hegseth, as you all were just showing, has been using really extraordinary language, suggesting that the United States is not interested in the rule of law. I mean, he just called the rules of engagement stupid, right? He said the U.S. is not interested in playing fair. In another clip, you have him talking about bombing Iran into the Stone Age. He posted that on his official X page. The president has been using similar language, and actually Trump has been more specific in kind of identifying targets that would be almost certainly war crimes. He's been talking about bombing water desalination plants. He's been talking about attacking and bombing bridges, as the U.S. did yesterday in this double tap strike. Power plants. They've been hitting pharmaceutical plants and hospitals and schools and so on and so forth. And so I think what may be happening, again, this is speculation. We'll see what happens in the coming days and what people say. But I think what may be happening is that people see that the United States is telegraphing that they're committing war crimes, and people want to get out, from under that. They don't want to be caught up in being accused of war crimes and potentially prosecuted.
Okay, it's interesting, I think, that the successor to the Army Chief of Staff used to be the head of the 82nd Airborne Division, which of course is being deployed to the region. Does that give us a clue as to perhaps how things might yet unfold?
Well, again, I think there are ruptures, there are disagreements, perhaps over the things that I just mentioned, but also over some of this posturing about a possible land invasion, right? The U.S. has been talking about possibly going into the coastline or taking over one of these Iranian islands. I think it would be very hard for me to imagine that there is not significant disagreement about this higher up, because this is something that would be very difficult, it would be fraught with all kinds of problems. An extremely difficult operation, to say the least.
All right, Mohammed, we'll leave it there for the moment. More a bit later, but for the time being, thanks very much.
Thanks.